Leo got the key from the old janitor on a Tuesday. It was a brass key, heavy, with a tag that read "Roof" in faded black ink. The janitor was a thin man with white hair and deep-set eyes, and he handed the key to Leo with the careful precision of someone passing along something important. "Best view in the city," the janitor said, "but don't stay past sunset." Leo lived in a 12-story apartment building in the center of the city. He had lived there his whole life. He knew every floor, every hallway, every cracked tile in the lobby, but he had never been to the roof. The door at the top of the stairwell was always locked, and no one had ever mentioned a key. It was summer, the days were long and hot, and the building was stuffy with trapped heat. Leo took the stairs to the 12th floor, then climbed the narrow ladder that led to the roof access door. He unlocked it. The door swung open and the sky poured in, blue and vast and empty. The roof was flat, covered in gravel, with a low wall around the edge. Leo walked to the wall and looked out. The city spread before him, a patchwork of buildings and streets and trees, all of it small and neat, like a model made of cardboard and paint. He could see the river, a silver ribbon winding through the center. He could see the bridges, the stadium, the old cathedral on the hill. He could see the mountains in the distance, blue and hazy, their peaks touching the clouds. He came back the next day, and the next, and the next. Every afternoon, after school, he climbed to the roof and sat on the gravel and looked out at the city. He brought a book sometimes, but he rarely read it. The view was enough. The wind was enough. The sound of the city far below, a distant hum of traffic and voices, was enough. One evening, just before sunset, Leo noticed something. There was a building on the skyline that hadn't been there before. A cathedral, tall and thin with spires that reached toward the sky like fingers. It was made of dark stone, and it stood on the eastern edge of the city, where the old warehouse district used to be. Leo had lived in this city his entire life. He had walked every street. He had never seen a cathedral. He looked at it for a long time. The sun was sinking behind the mountains, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. The cathedral spires caught the light, turning dark against the brightening sky. Leo watched until the sun went down, and the city lights came on, one by one, like stars falling to earth. The cathedral was dark. Its windows didn't glow. Its spires were black against the blue-black sky. He went back the next day. The cathedral was bigger, closer. It had moved, or grown, or both. It was no longer on the eastern edge. It was in the center of the city, rising above the other buildings, its dark stone catching the afternoon light. And the city had changed. The streets were in different places. The river ran in a different direction. Parks had appeared where there used to be parking lots. Neighborhoods had shifted, rearranged, the way a dream rearranges a familiar room. Leo stood on the roof and looked down. The city was still his city. The buildings were the same. The people were the same. But the geography was wrong. The streets didn't go where they should. The landmarks were in the wrong places. It was like looking at a map that someone had redrawn from memory. Close, but not quite right. The way a dream redraws the places you know. He tried to leave the roof. The door was locked. He turned the handle, pulled, pushed, rattled it. The door didn't open. The key was in his pocket. He used it. The lock didn't turn. He tried again. The lock didn't turn. The sun was touching the horizon. The janitor had told him not to stay past sunset. Leo stood at the door and listened to the wind. The wind was different up here. It didn't sound like wind. It sounded like voices, faint and distant, like a crowd of people talking in a language he didn't understand. From below, the city was dark. Every building was dark. Every street was dark. Every window was dark, except one, the cathedral. Its windows glowed with a warm, golden light. the kind of light that comes from candles, from fires, from things that burn slowly and steadily. And then the bells began to ring, deep, resonant, each note hanging in the air like a physical thing, like a hand reaching up from the ground. The bells rang for a long time. Leo stood on the roof and listened. The sound filled the city. It filled the sky. It filled the spaces between the buildings and the streets and the trees. It was the only sound in the world. The door opened. Leo didn't hear it open. He didn't see it open. One moment it was locked, and the next it was open. And the stairwell was there, dark and quiet and familiar. He stepped through. He closed the door behind him. He descended the stairs, 12 floors, his footsteps echoing in the concrete shaft. He went home. He didn't tell anyone about the cathedral. He didn't tell anyone about the changed city. He didn't tell anyone about the bells. He went to his room and looked out the window. The city was normal. The streets were in the right places. The river ran in the right direction. The cathedral was gone. Leo never went back to the roof. He gave the key back to the janitor, who took it without comment, without expression, as if he had known all along that Leo would return it. Leo went to school. He went to work. He lived his life. But sometimes, late at night when the city was quiet and the lights were dim, he would look at the skyline, and if the night was clear, if the air was still, he would see them. Spires, dark and thin, rising above the other buildings, catching the moonlight. Spires that shouldn't be there.